Did you ever mark that door? It's connected in my mind with a very odd story.
Indeed? And what was that?
Well, it was this way. I was coming home from some place at the end of this world about sundown. And all at once I saw two figures. One was a man, moving along eastward at a good walk. And the other a girl of maybe 15 who was running as hard as she was able down a cross street. Well, sir, the two ran into one another naturally enough at the corner, and then came the horrible part of the thing. For the man just trampled calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground. It was hellish to see. It wasn't like a man. It was like some damn juggernaut.
Oh, hey! Wow, what is wrong with you? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
He was perfectly cool and made no resistance, but gave me one look. So ugly that it brought out the sweat on me like running. I could see in the others a desire to kill him.
We're gonna make such a scandal out of this!
Yeah, we're gonna make sure your name stinks.
From one end of town to the other. If you have any friends or credit.
We're gonna make sure you lose them.
We'll be sure of it.
We demand retribution for this heinousness. Killing him being out of the question, we did the next best. We screwed him up to 100 pounds for the child's family.
No gentleman but wishes to avoid a scene. Name your figure.
Oh, I think 5 pounds?
300 pounds.
300 pounds.
500 pounds. 400 pounds.
500?
At minimum. 400.
I suggest 100 pounds.
We don't do.
Next thing was to get the money. And where do you think he carried us but the place to the door? So he went in and produced a check, which was signed with a name I can't mention, though it's one of the points of my story. But it was a name at least very well known and often printed. This whole business seems suspicious. A man does not, in real life, go into a cellar door and come out with another man's check for 100 pounds.
Set your mind at rest. I'll go to the bank with you and cash the check myself.
But then I turned in the check myself, expressing I had every reason to believe it was forgery. Not a bit of it. The check was genuine.
My.
See, you feel as I do. Yes, it's a bad story, for my man is a fellow that nobody could have to do with. A really damn little man. And the person that wrote the check is the very pink of the proprieties. And what makes it worse, one of your fellows who do what they call good. It's blackmail, I suppose. An honest man paying through the nose for the capers of his youth.
And the drawer of the check lives there?
It's a likely place, isn't it? I saw his address, though. He lives in some square somewhere.
Absolutely sure of this, Jekyll.
Utterson, I am here for your legal help, and while I greatly value your friendship, I've expressed what I wish for my will, and I'll thank you to stay a lawyer now and a friend in all other regards. I wish for my will to express that in the case of my death, all my possessions are to pass into the hands of Edward Hyde. Furthermore, shall I disappear or be inexplicably absent for any period of time exceeding 3 calendar months, Hyde should step into my shoes without further delay, and free from any burden or obligation beyond the payment of a few small sums to the members of my household.
As you wish, my friend. Enfield, that's a very good rule of yours.
Yes, I think it is.
But for all that, there's one point I want to ask. I want to ask the name of that man who walked over the child.
Well, I don't see what harm it could do. It's a man of the name of Hyde.
As you wish, said I, and yet here sits this eyesore of a document still. It was bad enough before, when I knew not of Hyde and could only marvel at the strangeness. It is worse that he must be so clothed in detestable attributes. A fiend. I thought it was madness, and now I begin to fear it is disgrace.
Mr. Hyde, I think?
That is my name. What do you want?
I see you are going in. I'm an old friend of Dr. Jekyll, Utterson of Gaunt Street. You must have heard of my name. Meeting you so conveniently here, I thought you might admit me.
You will not find Mr. Jekyll. He is from home. How did you know me?
On your side. Will you do me a favor?
With pleasure. What shall it be?
Will you let me see your face? Now, I shall know your face. It may be useful.
Yes. It is as well we have met. And you should have my address. And now, how did you know me?
By description.
Whose description?
We have common friends.
Common friends? Who are they?
Dr. Jekyll, for instance.
He never told you. I did not think you would have lied.
Come, that is not fitting language. There's something sinister here. God bless me. That man is hardly human. Could this be the old story of Dr. Fell? Or is it the mere radiance of a foul soul that transpires through and transfigures its clay continent? The last, I think. For oh, my poor old Henry Jekyll. If I ever read Satan's signature upon a face, it is on that of your new friend. Is Dr. Jekyll at home, Pool?
I'll see, Utterson. Will you wait here, or should I give you a light by the lounge?
Here, thank you.
I'm afraid Dr. Jekyll has gone out.
Pool? I saw Mr. Hyde go in by the old dissecting door. Is that right, when Dr. Jekyll is from home?
Quite right. He has a key if needed.
Your colleague seems to repose a great deal of trust in that young man, Pool.
Yeah, the grad assistants have instruction to aid him if required.
I don't think I have ever met Mr. Hyde.
Dear no. He never dines here. He mostly just comes and goes by the side of the laboratory. We never see him on the side of the building.
Well, good evening, Pool.
Good evening, Utterson.
Poor Henry Jekyll. My mind misgives me. He is in deep waters. He was wild when he was young, a long while ago. But in the law of God, there's no statutes of limitations. It must be that. The ghost of some old sin, the cancer of some concealed disgrace. Punishment coming. Pity, Clodagh. Years after memory has forgotten and self-love has condoned the fault. Things cannot continue as they are. It turns me to think of this creature stealing like a thief to Henry's bedside. Poor Henry. And the danger of it, for if this Hyde suspects the existence of the will, he may grow impatient to inherit. I must put my shoulders to the wheel, if Jekyll will but let me. If Jekyll will only let me. I've been wanting to speak to you, Jekyll. You know that will of yours?
Oh, Utterson, you are unfortunate in such a client. I've never seen a person as distressed as you are about my will.
You know I never approved of the will.
Oh, I know, you have told me.
Well, I'll tell you so again. I've been learning something about young Hyde.
I do not care to hear more. This is a matter I thought we had agreed to drop.
What I heard was something abominable.
It can make no change. You don't understand my position. I am painfully situated, Utterson. My situation is a strange one, a very strange one. But it's not a situation that can be mended by talking.
Jekyll, you know me. I am someone to be trusted. Make a clean breast out of this. I make no doubt I can get you out of this.
This is very good of you, downright good of you, and I can't find the words to express my thanks for you. I believe you fully. I would trust you for any man. Before myself, if I could make the choice. But indeed, it isn't what you fancy. It isn't as bad as that. And just to put your good heart at rest, I will tell you one thing. The moment I choose, I can be rid of Hyde. I give you my hand upon that, and thank you again and again. And I will add just one word, Utterson. This is a private matter, and I wish that you would let it sleep.
I have no doubt. You are perfectly right.
And you witnessed the murder?
I, Inspector Newcomb.
How did it happen?
It happened this way. I'd gone upstairs to bed at about 11, but the night was bright. And so I sat. I became more aware of a gentleman drawing near from along the lane, and advancing to meet him another gentleman to whom I had first paid less attention. When they came within speech, just under my eye, the first gentleman bowed and accosted the other with a very pretty manner of politeness. It did not seem as if the subject of his address was of great importance. Indeed, based off of his pointing, it only seemed as if he was inquiring his way. I watched the first gentleman a moment, as the light hit his face in such a pure and beautiful way. But presently my eye wandered to the other, and I was surprised to recognize a Mr. Hyde, who had once visited my partner, and whom I conceived a great dislike. And I can't say he spoke a word, but he seemed to listen with an ill-contained impatience. And then all of a sudden, he broke into a great flame of anger. It appeared to be over, but then the next moment, as soon as the other gentleman turned his back, Hyde, he...
Hello, Utterson. Were you briefed on the way over? So we found a letter on the victim's body, sealed and stamped. It bore your name and address. We weren't able to identify him. Have you seen the letter?
I shall say nothing until I see the body.
Very well.
Yes, I recognize him. I'm sorry to say that this is Sir Danbury Carew.
Good God, is that possible? This will cause a great deal of noise. Perhaps you can help us to the man? Someone said that you're familiar with a Mr. Hyde.
Could the witness recount the appearance of your suspect?
Particularly wicked looking is what the witness states.
Well, I can take you to his house. Yes? This is the home of a Mr. Hyde. Who wants to know?
Inspector Newcomb of Scotland Yard.
Ha, is he in trouble?
That remains to be seen. Is he in?
Yes, this is Mr. Hyde's, but he is not at home. He was in last night, very late, but he'd gone away in less than an hour.
That not unusual.
No, there's nothing strange about that. His habits are irregular and he's often absent. It had been 2 months since last I'd seen him until yesterday. Now, is he in trouble? What has he done?
He's not a very popular character, is he? May we have a look around?
Yes, come in. Let me show you to his rooms.
He must have lost his head. We can take this to the bank. Track his accounts. Money is life to a person, you know. There's nothing to do but wait at the bank and get out the handbills. Utterson to see you, Dr. Jekyll.
You have heard the news?
You were crying in the square. I heard them in my living room.
One word. Carew was my client, but so are you. You have not been mad enough to hide this fellow.
Utterson, I swear to God, I will never set eyes on him again. I'm done with him in this world. Mark my words, he will never be heard of.
I hope you may be right. If it came to a trial, your name might appear.
Quite sure. He brought me a letter this morning. I can't bear to read it. Take it. I wish for you to judge me entirely. I've lost confidence in myself. God, Anderson, what a lesson I've had.
On your way out, you can go by the back door.
Yes, thank you. By the by, there was a letter handed in today. What was the messenger like?
We haven't received anything except by regular post.
Thank you. Good day.
Good day.
But then how did he receive the letter?
Well, that story's at an end at least. We shall never see any more of Mr. Hyde.
I hope not. Did I ever tell you I once saw him and shared your feeling of repulsion?
It was impossible to do one without the other. And by the way, what an ass you must have thought me to not know that this was the back way to Dr. Jekyll's. It was partly your own fault that I found out even when I did.
So you found it out, did you? But if that may be so, we may take a step into the court and take a look at the window. To tell you the truth, I'm uneasy about poor Jekyll. And even on the outside, I may feel as if the presence of a friend might do him good. What? Jekyll! I trust you are better.
I'm very low, Utterson. Very low. But it will not last long, I think.
You stay too much indoors. You should be out, whipping out a circulation with Infield and I. Come now. Get your hat and take a quick train with us.
You are very good. I would like to very much, but no, it's quite impossible. I dare not. But indeed, Utterson, I'm very glad to see you. This is really a great pleasure. I would ask you and Enfield in, but the place really isn't fit.
Why then? The best thing we can do is to stay out here and speak to you from where we are.
That was about to venture to.
God forgive us! God forgive us! Bless me, Poole. What brings you here? What ails you?
Utterson, there is something seriously wrong.
Come, take a seat. Here's a glass of wine. Now take your time and tell me plainly what you want.
You know the doctor and how he shuts himself up. Well, he's shut himself up again, and I don't like it. I may die if I may like it. Utterson, I'm afraid.
Now be explicit. What are you afraid of?
I don't know. I've been afraid for more than a week, I would say. I don't know. I can't bear it no more. I can't bear it no more.
Come. I see you have some good reason, Poole. I see there's something seriously amiss. Now try to tell me what it is.
I think there's been foul play.
Foul play? What foul play?
I daren't say, but if you follow me, I'll show you. Now, come as gently as you can. I want you to hear, but I don't want you to be hurt. And see here, if by any chance he was to ask you in, don't go. Doctor, Utterson is asking to see you.
Tell her I cannot see anyone.
Thank you, Doctor. Utterson, was that my colleague's voice?
It seems much changed.
Changed? Well, yes, I think so. Have I been 5 years working with this man to be deceived about his voice? No, the doctor is made away with. He was made away with 8 days ago when we heard him cry out upon the name of God. And who's in there instead of him? And why it stays there is a thing that cries rise to heaven, Utterson!
That won't hold water. It won't commit itself to reason.
Well, Utterson, you are a hard one to satisfy, but I'll do it yet. All this last week, for whatever it is, he or it or whatever is in that cabinet has been crying for some sort of medicine, and I have been sent all over town to every wholesale chemist, sometimes twice or thrice in a day, and I'll come back and be sent away again with another order or another complaint for the proprietor because it wasn't pure, or to try another firm, and whatever that medicine is, it is wanted bitter bad.
Have you any of these notes?
Dr. Jekyll presents his compliments to the chemist. He assures them that their last sample is impure and quite useless for his present purpose. Last year, Dr. J purchased a somewhat large quantity from the chemist. He now begs them to search with most sedulous care, and should any of the same quality be let, to forward it to him at once. Expense is no consideration. The importance of this to Dr. J can hardly be exaggerated. And here at the bottom, see, for God's sake, find me some of the old.
This is a strange note. Is this unquestionably the doctor's hand?
Yes! What matters of hand, right? I've seen him.
Seen him? Well?
It seems he had slipped out to look for this drug or whatever it is. For the cabinet door was open, and there he was at the far end of the room, digging among the crates. He looked up when I came in, gave a kind of cry, and whipped upstairs into the cabinet. It was for but 1 minute that I saw him, but the hair stood upon my head like quills. If that was my colleague, why had he a mask upon his face? It was my colleague. Why did he cry out like a rat and run from me? I have known him long enough. It is the belief of my heart that there was murder done.
Poole, if you make it my duty to make it certain, as much as I desire to spare the doctor's feelings, I shall consider it my duty to break down that door.
Now, Utterson, that's talking.
Okay, do you know, Poole, that you and I are about to place ourselves in a position of some peril?
You may say so indeed.
Let us be frank. We both think more than we have said. Let us make a clean breast of it. That figure that you saw, did you recognize it?
Well, it was quick, but if you're asking if it was Mr. Hyde, yes it was, and I know that's not evidence. I'm book alert enough for that, Utterson, but one has one's feelings, and I swear on my Bible word that it was Mr. Hyde.
Aye. My fears incline to that same point. Evil, I fear, founded. Evil was sure to come of that connection. Truly, I believe you. I believe poor Henry is killed. And I believe his murderer, for what purpose God alone can tell, is still lurking in his victim's room. Well, let her name be vengeance! Jekyll, I demand to see you! I give you fair warning. Our suspicions are aroused. I must and shall see you. If not by fair means, then by foul. If not with your consent, then by brute force.
Utterson, for God's sake, have mercy!
Ah, that's not Jekyll's voice, it's Hyde's! Down with the door, Poole! We have come too late, whether to save or to punish. Hyde is gone on his own account. Poole! Where's Henry? Oh God, where's Henry?
Utterson, look.
This is Hyde's key, broken and rusted. Why, this key hasn't been used in months. And this. Watch the video for the eyes of G.J. Utterson and Agent Poole.
And so, after reflecting upon this again, I was driven to reflect deeply and inveterately on that hard law of life, which lies at the root of religion and is one of the most plentiful springs of distress. And it chanced that the direction of my scientific studies, which led wholly towards the mystic and transcendental, reacted and shed a strong light on this consciousness of the perennial war among my members. With every day, I thus drew steadily nearer to that truth, that man is not truly one, but truly two. I say two because the state of my knowledge does not pass beyond that point, and now, after several months of trial and error, I have found that I believe to be a drug mixture which can help me separate the two. I'm not sure what success shall look like in this, but I do know I risk death. And here it is, documented, the results of what will hopefully be my last testing.